Hardin County is a significant part of the Iowa River Greenbelt. The small community of Eldora, Iowa hosts the Civilian Conservation Corps Prisoner of War Recreational Hall and Military Museum, a unique museum that tells the history of conservation, state parks, the 1933 Emergency Works Program, Civilian Conservation Corps, Prisoner of War campsite, and each year has a revolving military story. The museum tells how Iowa's Dr.
Louis Pamel,
a well-known botanist for Iowa State College, was instrumental in extension, conservation, and the beginning development of state parks in Iowa. In the museum, you will learn about how the Iowa River Greenbelt is significant, about a camp called Camp Flying Goose during the Great Depression, and how prisoners of war were instrumental in helping aid the war efforts for the Allies. You will also experience and learn about America's military each year through a new and insightful program. Emily Rose, a 4-H member in Hardin County, learned about the history of the CCC POW Recreational Hall in 2008 and decided to do something about the dilapidated old green building for fellow 4-Hers in the county. She developed an organization called Youth to Restore the CCC POW Recreational Hall. Not only did she achieve creating a fun-filled place for fellow 4-Hers, her discoveries of the historical significance led this building to be placed on the National Historic Register in 2012. The museum has been open since 2009, with new discoveries and stories told every year. Once inside the museum, you'll learn all sorts of history about the Iowa River Greenbelt and how it dates back to the early 1900s. How the Wisconsin Glacier played a significant role in the geographical and botanical remnants. S.D. Mosier wrote, "In my later years, it was my wont and pleasure to walk up Pine Creek often, to listen to the brook as it laughed its way along, to drink from its many springs, and to see the pines. On my return trips, I often noticed the basin through which this creek flowed, and believed it would be a fine place to create a lake. And it was in my mind that if I were a millionaire, I would build a dam across the lower end of this basin, and thus impound the waters of the creek and create a beautiful lake." Mr. Mosier never did become a millionaire, but in time he did see his dream come true. Mosier was instrumental in the park development of Pine Lake. You'll learn more about the Civilian Conservation Corps, like how in 1930 the unemployment rate was as high as 24.9%, what the alphabet programs of President Roosevelt were, and how his administration played a significant role in the establishment of Camp Flying Goose and Companies 1755, 2717, and 1752. You'll get a chance to learn more about prisoners of war and how Iowa's agricultural story was significant to the war efforts through the raising of hemp. Meet the Italian and German POWs through the stories retold of how they worked, entertained, and integrated into the communities. You'll learn what some of the positive results of having POWs here were and how the POWs benefited Eldora from 1943 to 1945. Learn how the military veterans benefited from the CCC POW campsite on their return following World War II. How Iowans and residents of Hardin County have played significant roles in America's military. Come visit this one-of-a-kind museum. Lots of hands-on and reading information. Walk through an original campsite building of 1933 to 1945. It is the only campsite building of the CCC POWs in Iowa and possibly the only one in the United States. This museum has some of the original games for you to experience and is open year-round on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 to 4 and Saturdays 9 to 3. Additional summer hours are Memorial Weekend through mid-October, Fridays 5 to 7 p.m. Special events held each year in July are the Hardin County Fair and Pine Lake Festival. Dates may vary. Teachers and civic organizers can set up field trips and tours that work for their schedules. Bring your family and friends to the CCC POW Recreational Hall and Military Museum in Eldora, Iowa, located at 409 11th Avenue on the Hardin County Fairground, 1 block north of the Eldora Cemetery. Come visit or camp at Pine Lake State Park and experience the wonders of nature. To set up a tour, please email cccpowrecall@gmail.com. That's cccpowrecall@gmail.com. Like the Facebook page. The volunteers have a barrage of stories to tell.
Smiling and working, a merry youthful band, till happy days are here once again. With joyful voice, we all rejoice for CCC.